Welcome to Foundations Frameworks, Mapping Global Regulatory Landscape. Pharmaceutical companies and stakeholders seeking to market medicine products worldwide face a highly diverse and complex regulatory environment. Regulations differ significantly across regions like North America, Europe, and the Asia Pacific, each with its unique guidelines, priorities, and compliance mechanisms. A mastery of these global differences and the ability to harmonize diverse requirements efficiently is crucial for successful regulatory submissions, drug approvals, and post-market surveillance. Objectives: understand the regulatory frameworks in key regions, including the FDA, Health Canada, EMA, and APAC authorities. Learn techniques to overcome compliance challenges and bridge regulatory gaps. Know the best practices for harmonized solutions in global regulatory strategies. Recognize how regional requirements interconnect with global pharmacovigilance frameworks. Key regulatory frameworks by region: North America, comprising US and Canada. United States, FDA. The US Food and Drug Administration is one of the most influential regulatory forces worldwide. Some key approval pathways are the NDA, which is the New Drug Application for New Chemical Entities, ANDA, Abbreviated New Drug Application for Generics, Biologics License Application or BLA for Biologics and Biosimilars. A company developing cancer immunotherapy drugs must secure a BLA before entering the US market. Health Canada. Canada's regulatory authority oversees the review of drug applications and post-approval compliance using its Food and Drug Act. Some types of approval: DIN or Drug Identification Numbers, essential for all marketed products. NOC, submissions under Notice of Compliance. Precision therapies like CAR T cells require strict adherence to Health Canada's Advanced Biologics Framework. Europe, EMA and national authorities. EMA, the European Medicines Agency. It manages centralized procedures for drug approvals valid across all 27 European Union member states. Centralized procedure ensuring one application covers all member states. Some key supporting frameworks would be the GMP and GCP, which is the Good Manufacturing Practices and the Good Clinical Practices. A company pursuing centralized approval for an orphan drug benefits from fee reductions under EMA's incentives. Asia Pacific, or APAC. Japan, PMDA, Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices Agency. Known for its emphasis on safety, Japan follows stringent post-marketing surveillance requiring periodic safety updates. Combination drugs marketed in Japan requires Japanese-specific studies despite global approvals. India, CDSCO, Central Drug Standards Control Organization. India's requirement focuses on filing for investigation new drug IND applications and specific BIO studies. India mandates bioequivalence testing locally for generic drug approvals. China, NMPA, National Medical Products Administration, increasingly aligned with international norms but with unique local clinical trial requirements. China mandates that clinical trials for innovative drugs include domestic subjects unless an explicit waiver is granted. Challenges in achieving regional compliance. Varied regulatory structures. Each region interprets safety, quality, and efficacy standards differently. The FDA mandates in-depth pharmacokinetic analysis while EMA emphasizes risk minimization plans. Conflicting timelines and review procedures. Regions vary in their drug review times, which complicates synchronized launches. For instance, FDA's expedited programs like Breakthrough Therapy designation may contrast with Japan's lengthy GCP documentation reviews. Clinical trial requirements. Diverging standards for clinical trials in different regions can delay global product launches. For example, India's mandate for local pivotal data contrasts with EMA's acceptance of global trial data. Data privacy regulations. Laws protecting personal health data such as GDPR in Europe challenge multinational companies conducting pharmacovigilance. Language and cultural barriers. Translations of regulatory dossiers into local languages like Chinese, Japanese, and Korean add complexity and risk inaccuracies. Some best practices for harmonized compliance strategies. To master global standards such as the ICH guidelines, the International Council for Harmonization bridges gaps among FDA, EMA, and NMPA, etc. For instance, the ICH E6 GCP has a uniform standards for drug trials, and ICH M4 has common technical document, harmonizes dossier submissions. Country-specific preparations cultivates region-tailored regulatory strategies addressing localized requirements and diversity. For instance, to understand Japan's post-marketing vigilance emphasis versus China's increasing demand for real-world evidence. Early engagement with the regulators to seek stakeholder alignments via pre-submission meetings. Example, pre-investigation new drug consultation with FDA streamlines US submissions. Technology solutions for regulatory operations, digital platforms that consolidate global compliance activities improve efficiency. For instance, using regulatory information management systems centralizes country-specific protocols. Collaboration with local experts to establish connections with skilled regulatory consultants and target regions who understand local standards. Techniques for mastering global regulatory compliance. Case analysis. Study cases like global rollouts by successful companies such as Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine approval pathways across 100 plus countries. Mock submissions. Practice creating common technical documents for stimulated drug approvals to cover formatting variances like the electronic common technical documents in EU versus paper submissions, which are still accepted by some APAC regions. Compliance certifications to obtain certifications in international regulations like ICH E6 GCP or CTD structure. Monitor changes regularly to follow updates from FDA, EMA, and APAC authorities to stay compliant. To build cross-discipline teams, to work in interdisciplinary teams of pharmacovigilance specialists, chemists, and local regulatory experts for specialized compliance.